We're going to move on to our next topic. It's making it easy to do business with you. Go ahead, Craig.
All right, thank you, Elisha. Making it easy to do business with the implant. When we installed our web-to-print software, it was for two primary reasons. One was to make it easier for the customer to do business with us. The second was to make it easier for us to process jobs. So it was really a win-win when we installed the new system. I'd like to talk about, put the focus on how it benefited the customer. Our web-to-print software walks the customer through placing an order. It has all the options there for them to choose from, their finishing options, where they want it shipped, their cost center. Before we had web-to-print, we were on the email-based system. Oftentimes we'd have emails that come in that were missing information. There was a lot of back and forth, calling the customer, some hassle trying to fill in the gaps. And it's really streamlined that process, both for us and for our customers. We've also done a lot of work branding the system. It has the same look and feel as our internal and external Sun Life websites. We've worked with our learning and development department to create a department wiki for our WebCRD software. It has basic instructions for customers to follow, also more advanced instructions for specific workflows for specific departments. We've had news stories go on our internal news feed to help generate buzz and awareness, get customers talking about it, get them excited to use it. We've offered training for groups. If a manager of a department wants myself or one of our other print staff to offer hands-on training, we'll gladly do that. We do tours of the print shops. That helps our customers to have confidence that they're not just submitting their order to some unknown place. They come down, they see a team of professionals handling their orders, and they're much more confident using our systems. And that's how we've tried to make it easier for the customer.
Thank you, Adam.
So in many ways, we're a little behind you. We don't have a POS or a web-to-print solution we're in the process of implementing right now. But without that, we've kind of existed for a lot of years by creating Google Forms and automated systems and having an FTP upload site for various ways that help people to be able to submit files without having to have face-to-face interaction with us. And we are since we are in an educational market, we only accept print-ready PDF files. So we do, spend a lot of time with our customers going back and forth. And we actually have a lot of computers set up, kind of like a little mini lab with high-end ISO monitors that are all color calibrated. We have one of the only PC labs on campus in our 3D areas, and my staff are always willing to sit down and work with people and help them to get to their output that they're, whether they need to paginate a saddle stitch booklet or, provide a 3D watertight print-ready model. They're always willing to sit down and work with people, and I think, that creates a nice interaction. Another thing that we really do is create pathways to output. So a lot of times we have students that will come to us and students haven't quite figured out yet to come up with a plan B. 6 print right now or in 2 hours. There's no way I can possibly accommodate that at my print service center. So have self-service inkjet printing, and they can just go down the hallway, go to a printer, load up their file. One of my staff will assist them on creating that output, and and it's available 24/7. So, and the output's not as high quality as what they could get at the service bureau, but they're able to get something that suits their needs, and everybody's happy. We also, along with our print services across campus, we're in about 6 or 7 buildings. All of our services 24/7. We have a help desk that users can call for support. We also make it easy for them to request self-service print refunds or reprints. We prefer reprints if at all possible. and we usually schedule and work with them to help them through the process if they are confused about anything. We also provide a lot of free services to our students to kind of get them involved in the process, you know, whether that be free printing credits for the devices around campus when they first get on campus for black and white or color laser printing, to more advanced courses that they know they'll be using, like 3D or laser cutters or 3D printing. They've got credit that they can use in those facilities. And then, you know, we also offer free test strips to users if they're printing large format graphics, just to kind of get them involved and give them something that they can look at. It's free. We'll go back and forth with them. If they have any questions about color, we'll sit down with them and help them get to where they would like to be. And then finally, I think we try to develop relationships with outside vendors. We're, being in downtown Chicago, kind of limited to the space that we have available to us, so there's a lot of services that we aren't able to provide, such as finishing, for a big one, really. But we develop relationships with other vendors that are within walking distance of our facilities, and we, you know, send users in those directions and develop, you know, preferred pricing and whatnot. So.
Thank you, Adam. Steve?
Well, interacting with customers has certainly gone through a lot of changes over the years. Currently, we seldom see the customer. We accept almost 9 out of 10 jobs come in electronically. We deal with people through email, occasionally on the telephone, so it becomes almost paramount for us to find ways to meet these people, to put a face on these names. In doing so, hopefully it brings their loyalty to us that is hard to maintain when all you have is an electronic relationship. We're fortunate to have a marketing manager in our department who spends a great deal of time ensuring that our name is associated with as many possible community relations that go on campus. It's very important to us as a group to be considered part of MIT, and that means involved in any fundraising or community efforts. We work closely with all of the student groups on campus in special pricing for them in order to not make it such a cold and sterile place. A lot of the technology that we've invested in removes the personal touch from a lot of things, so we need to find other ways to do the job of getting to know our customers and being able to put a face to these folks, and those are some of the ways that we're doing that.
Abbas?
Some things in this business never change, so and some customers never change. So the first thing to be, I think, in being you know, easy to do business with is that we take files of any kind or work in any fashion. Nobody ever gets turned off from the door because they didn't produce a file that we can work with, or they. So that's probably been the single biggest, I think, because. The ability to be able to work with anything or everything so that the customers can trust us. Which comes to the next point is being easy to business is also as much about building a trust. And that's something that we have to work all the time on. One of the big parts of that has been I think actually has been our outsourcing program, because everything that we buy on the behalf of the customer, we don't mark up. It is basically a service that we provide at no cost, which has led to a lot more business and has developed this very close partnership. So I think that has contributed in the campus looking at us in a very different prism, as somebody they can trust with and who's not in it to, you know, with the individual agenda. In our facility, since we have this plethora of activities, some customers we tend to work more on a personal basis with, and some we never see, and so we have to reach out to them in other ways. For example, our mail customers. At some point of time, we interact with everybody with mail, and 90% of them never know us. So once in a while, we actually send out surveys to find out how we are doing on the mail side, because it's something that everybody takes for granted. On the digital side, we definitely try to follow up. Once we get orders, we always actually have a direct follow-up, a direct communication going out saying, your order has been received, etc. And more on the offset side, what we call the key 10, 20 customers, we have what we call assigned accounts. So we actually have customer service representatives who directly work with them. And so they have one facing contact for anything that they need. Whether it be mail, whether it be copy, whether it be print, they have just one place to call and one person. And what that does is essentially it mirrors what you would find in a commercial operation. Our customer service reps also tend to go out and actually visit them rather than have them come to a facility. So there's always this interaction. The other part that we've started developing actually is that as Penn State is, University Park is the main campus, which everybody knows as Happy Valley, but there's 22 campuses and all. And we do work for many of those 22 campuses. And so at least one of the efforts that we've started is making outreach to the campuses. So we actually go and visit the campuses and try to talk to them and give them a face and make them feel as if they're part of the community, because sometimes the campuses don't necessarily feel that they're being treated on an even keel as the main campus. So that has really helped in widening our scope and developing a better relationship with some of the more far-flung customers.
Don't pass it yet. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. You guys know how I do that. So you each have said what you'd like to say. Is there anything, if you each had another 20 or 30 seconds to maybe build on something someone else said or a thought that's occurred to you?
It's interesting that the introduction of technology to help us in our the way of delivering content to our customers has actually separated us in many ways. When we had a web submission system that was rather primitive and kind of custom made, didn't do a whole lot, we spent a lot of time with our customers. But we invested in a very sophisticated web CRD that eliminated a lot of that interaction with the customer. So even though we offer a service that's much more convenient, much more easier for the customer, we've actually removed some of that human interaction from it.